Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for December 14th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. As always, we will start with computer and console role-playing game news, and because the Game Awards were going on during the time I was writing this, a number of announcements were made, so it'll be kind of a busy week in the console and computer RPG world. We'll start with Songs of Conquest. The Vanir DLC will be set to launch on December 17th. It will add a new faction inspired by Viking and Scandinavian folklore, as well as a new biome. Hyperlight Breaker is set to enter early access on January 14th, 2025. Set in the same universe as Hyperlight Drifter, it'll have a 3D presentation with more modern look and feel, but the same sort of world. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming to the PC on January 23rd. It is the second part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy and has been available on PS5 since very early this year. Worlds of Aria is set to hit Switch on January 23rd of next year. It'll be a tabletop-inspired RPG adventure that has already been available on the PC for a little while now. We have a proper release date set for Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. It'll now target January 31st of next year. It'll be a dice-driven RPG that's the follow-up to Citizen Sleeper, of course. The first Berserker, Kazan, is set to hit on March 27th of 2025, with a demo coming out on the 6th of January. It looks like it'll be an action-adventure, and it says it's going to be a Souls-like, although I'm not sure how much that holds. AI Limit is set to hit on March 27th. It'll hit the PC and the PS5 and will be set in the distant future after the fall of civilization. All in Abyss, Judge the Fake, will hit on April 10th, 2025. It looks like it'll be a poker mystery adventure RPG. It'll hit not only the PC, but it'll also be available on the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch. It looks like Elden Ring Night Rain will be a standalone co-op style roguelike. Looks like it might have some monster hunting elements as well as co-op play. Not a sequel to Elden Ring, but rather a spin-off with a different sort of play style. We'll have to see how this goes. I hear people saying it looks kind of like a mishmash of all things Souls-like. That's not a bad thing. I mean, I like that series, so, oh well. Then Solasta 2 is planned for at least sometime next year. It is the follow-up to the turn-based RPG Solasta Crown of the Magister. It will feature a gameplay based on the SRD 5th edition rule set, just like the first one. I really enjoyed the first one. Didn't get all of the expansions. I will be collecting those over time. But I'm looking forward to this one, too. It's nice to see that they're moving forward with it. And it looks like they're using some of their profits and some of the budget gained from the first one to hype up the production on this one. Then the Outer Worlds 2 is set for sometime next year, a sci-fi RPG follow-up to the Outer Worlds. It will target the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X/S. It will feature a new protagonist and a new star system. Haven't been impressed with some of the Obsidian stuff of late, so we'll have to see how this goes. It looks like Class of Heroes 3 is getting a remaster. The enhanced remaster of the PS3 era Dungeon Crawler will land sometime next year and target the PC, PS5, and the Switch. I did cover the remasters if you want to see my reviews of those and remakes of the first two earlier this year. I still need to finish the playthroughs of those. I got like 90% of the playthrough done on each of them, and I know it's horrible to say, oh, you reviewed this without playing it through. They're dungeon crawlers. I played like 30 plus, 40 plus hours of each of them, okay? I'm pretty sure that if there was anything to be new and surprising at the end, I probably would have seen it by now. But yeah, I gotta finish those up and post them on the secondary channel at some point. I've finished like 90% of the actual gameplay on one and like 85% on the other, so yeah, I'll get around to it. HyperX Fantasy is announced, drawing inspiration from Nier Automata as well as Blade Runner. It'll feature a sort of futuristic dystopia where you guide souls into a digital afterlife. It'll target the PC with a Nintendo Switch version planned for later. Re-Choice will be a time loop style adventure RPG with a high school student obsessed with a live streamer who is destined to disappear in 10 days. So you play it over and over again, looking to stop that by gathering clues, investigating, and so forth. Then Chain Echoes is getting a new DLC in 2025 called Ashes of Elrond. It'll happen right before the end of the game and open up new areas. Colonel Hearts will target the PC and the Xbox Series X/S, and it will be a magical girl-themed action roguelike. The Witcher 4 was announced. It looks like a new game in the Witcher series, this time featuring Ciri as the protagonist. We'll see how that goes. And I'm not sure how much of an RPG this will be. It looks like the adventure game Okami is getting a proper sequel. It'll include a number of members from the original games development staff, so It might be interesting to see that. As far as actual releases go, Shire and the Wanderer, the mystery dungeon of Serpent Coil Island, saw its a release for the PC. It is another entry into the Shire and the Wanderer mystery dungeon series of roguelikes, which, oh wow, that goes almost all the way back to the beginning of the mystery dungeon style series. Then War Tales got its Skelmer Invasion DLC. It deals with a country now overrun by the largest invasion. Breath of Death 7, The Beginning Reanimated, has been released. It is effectively a remake of a turn-based strategy JRPG with comedy elements from a while back. Voin entered early access. It is a action roguelike in a dark fantasy realm. A lot of those going on. Then Urban Strife also saw early access. It is a post-apocalyptic survival RPG where you recruit locals into your militia to face off against other forces. Swordhaven Iron Conspiracy is an early access and is a party-based RPG with an isometric overhead view. Classic. Deck of Souls is a roguelike deck builder with apparently Souls-like 2D combat in addition to everything else. Who knows? Beyond the Bridge is a roguelike dungeon crawler as a sort of a tribute to the classic roguelike Moria, whatever. Lone Wolf is a post-apocalyptic beat-em-up role-playing game where you mix martial arts, weapons, and so forth to fight your way through the world in an aftermath of a nuclear war. Anode Heart Layer Null is a card battler style RPG set in a digital world. It also has creature collecting elements, so there's that. Finally, there's Arrowbin Sword of Adventure, a dungeon crawler hack and slash game in a virtual reality world. I think it does require a VR headset. With that, let's dive into tabletop RPG news. It looks like Paizo is getting a new playtest out for 2 new Pathfinder 2nd Edition classes. There'll be the Necromancer as well as the Runesmith that are available on the Pathfinder playtest website, which I may or may not have linked below depending on how YouTube likes that link. Because they've been obnoxious about it in the past. Anyway, onwards towards minor and PDF releases. Eldritch Osiris Games has Path Builder, Secrets of the Arcane for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Expands on the Secrets of the Arcane options with new character options for spellcasting classes. Then Frog God Games has a few new offerings through their Necromancer Games label. There's the Feast of the Fork, a celebration where suddenly bodies start turning up. Available in 5th edition OSR and Castles and Crusades versions. They also have 12 Days of Orcus, a holiday-themed adventure set around a withering Yule tree. It, too, is available in 5th edition OSR and Castle Crusades versions. Dark Wizard Games, which I'm actually increasingly a fan of their offerings, has a few adventures, each one dealing available in both 5th edition and 1st edition OSR style versions. There is the Lost Tomb of the Mummy Lich and the Fantastic Quest of the Whimsical One. They usually do kind of over the top old school things, and it's kind of funny. Then Elven Foundry has a few adventures for 5th edition. There is a Demon of Gurdon, Pride of the Sea, and Crown and Dagger. Kelpsil's Tales has Holiday Vengeance, a 5th edition adventure with a holiday theme that does not seem to include Krampus. I hope, because it looks like it features a gingerbread man style thing. Anyway. Claws of Schwarzenberg has a 5th edition compatible adventure with a Christmas theme where level 1 characters play a group of Santa's helpers tasked on a mission with finding Krampus, of course, and bringing him to the North Pole. You know, there are other Christmas-themed things besides Krampus that make good ideas. Anyway. Everon Games has Adventure Kit Frostbound Fate, a 5th edition adventure toolkit with hooks, stat blocks, and counter generation and so forth. Then there's The Nightmare Before Krampus, a 5th edition Christmas one-shot. Once again, dealing with Krampus. Whatever. One for Sorrow, Whispers in the Mist is an Eldritch Horror-style 5th edition adventure. This one comes with its own soundtrack as well as audio logs, apparently. So I think it's like a PDF and then files. Who knows? Anyway, Elven Tower has Tainted Water, an adventure suited for 5th edition, as well as Shadow Dark RPG. It deals with a small town where a woman says her family's farm was attacked by shapeless monsters emerging from a water well. I believe they also have a couple of pamphlet adventures, but they fell through the cracks. I've been sort of ratcheting up my filter again on this stuff because I was starting to cover things that were just really out there and barely even touched. And I'd rather focus on the things that people would actually be interested in. Diabolical Designs, Demons and Devils for 5th edition is a 5th edition supplement that offers character options, spells, magic items, and monsters with a fiendish theme. Coal and Frost Part 1 is the first part of a 5th edition campaign setting in Compendium, dealing with various locations, factions, and so on in a sort of industrial-era realm on the para-elemental plane of ice. The World of Mirror is technically a system-neutral but very compatible with 5th edition campaign setting, dealing with 280 unique settlements, 9 continents, various kingdoms, history, character options, and more. Beowulf Annual 2024 includes material for the Beowulf 5th edition compatible game, compiled from digital packs 14 to 17, as well as one of their other supplements, which name escapes me right now. Legendary Games has a couple of offerings. There is Asian Monsters for Black Flag role-playing game, a monster book with over 90 creatures from various Asian myths and legends. like legitimately just like one of the largest country, like the largest inhabited country in the world. So that could be anywhere in Asia, I guess. Then there's the Dragon Horde number 49 collection of material for 5th edition. 5th edition crafting with monster parts is what it says on the tin, a supplement dealing with creating items from monster parts for 5th edition. Then Quicksilver Adventuring League has a number of subclasses for 5th edition in the 2024 rules. There is Path of the Quickstep Rider for the Barbarian, the Way of the Acrobat for Monk, the Investigator, the Forger for the Rogue, the Archer for the Ranger, Oath of Rot for the Paladin, and the Cleric subclass compilation that includes 3 Cleric subclasses. I'd be surprised if they weren't Cleric subclasses. RPG Gamer has a number of 5th edition related material out, and I've stopped covering a lot of this stuff because a lot of this stuff is just real quick churn. But I will cover 2 that stood out. There's Black Friday's Curse, a modern horror adventure for 5th edition, and then Firearm Accessories for 5th edition for the modern era and post-apocalypse, a collection of weapon accessories for that era. Kobold Press has Book of Hexcrawl Part 7, Motivation, which offers various motivations and hooks, as well as guidelines for getting the party involved in adventures, especially sandbox ones, which can be difficult sometimes. Realms of Pugmire Core Rulebook is available in print on demand and uses the Onyx 20 rule system now for creating heroic dogs, adventuring with them. This has been ongoing, we've been changing it ongoing due to the whole SRD issue. Carcass Crawler issue 4 is a zine for old school essentials with new classes, monster spells, a short adventure, and more. Then there is the Shrike, a modular sandbox adventure dealing with an abandoned fragment of hell suited for old school essentials and similar OSR systems. The Carnivorous Caverns is an old school essentials compatible adventure dealing with an ancient sentient cavern system. The Curious Creeps in Crimson Creek is a OSR style adventure suited for a knave, I believe, detailing around a hex crawl. 7 Sealed Spirits Expanded Edition is a knave compatible OSR offering with various monster spirits, 6 different dungeons, an island, and detailed in 9 hexes and more. Million Colored Sun, the Red Witch of Chapelle d'Angois, is an adventure wherein raiders have descended upon a village, torched homes, and taken the blacksmith's daughter off with them, 4 Million Colored Suns. The Caravan is a Dragonbane scenario, which includes information for traveling through the wilderness. Then there's Giant's Teeth, another scenario for Dragonbane, this one dealing with a prehistoric monument. And then The Ghost of Brickpile Castle is also an adventure for Dragonbane dealing with a haunted castle. 10 new magic weapons for Dragonbane is exactly what it says, a collection of magical weapons for that system. Mazes Fantasy Role-Playing Module 29, Sons of Artifice, is another adventure in the Mazes series dealing with a dwarven hold that says it contains secrets and treasures in danger. Ildmara, the Genie's Rampage, is an adventure for, I believe, the Rollmaster system or something of this like that focuses on a genie bound into a magical lamp centuries ago, which has now been accidentally released. Vices and Virtue, Player's Handbook, details new rules light tabletop RPG, where characters are aligned with one of the 7 deadly sins or the 7 cardinal virtues. It is in the early stages of development and effectively offers a first look at the system. There is an adventure available for it as well, but I forgot to jot it down. My bad. Mysteries of the Fritter's Barony is a Mouse Ritter adventure wherein they are sent to look for anything that the Baron has not tasted yet, all while dodging a cat. Hinterdom Core Rules Manual details an RPG with simple mechanics, allowing you to craft spells for alliances and seek out alliances and so forth. Tapestry of Towns is a system-neutral compendium of 30 town settings with descriptions, governmental structures, NPCs, maps, and so on. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Deft Steps, Light Fingers, as a supplement for characters in the Rogue or Ranger classes. Then there's Crawling Chaos, a zero-prep RPG of Lovecraftian horror. The Grand Design is an RPG of cosmic horror and occult mystery set in the 70s and using a tarot-based storytelling system. Sundown Protocol is a OSR-style system set in the late 20th century where an organization confronts encroaching darkness. We Can Be Heroes is a superhero-style tabletop RPG meant to combine fast-paced action and using a public merit system. Convergent War is available in 2 parts, Part 1, Staging Ground, and Part 2, Tides of Entropy, and is a crossover adventure in the worlds of GI Task Force, Robot Defenders, Power Commandos, and optionally magical friendship ponies, if you can figure out what those properties are, since they do use the Essence 20 system, but are legally owned by Renegade Game Studios, so this is separate from that. It's a third-party thing. H2O Apocalypse, Surf Punk Piracy is a dungeon crawl compatible zine where you play surf punk pirates in a post-apocalyptic future. I should have covered a number of these things in different order. Usually I do them by system, but a lot of stuff lately has been diverging from the basic D20 and OSR stylings. So instead of organizing by system, I'm breaking into time periods this time. We'll see how that goes for a little while. Then Dune Core Rulebook, Atreides Collector's Edition, is a version of the Dune the Adventures in the Imperium RPG and a special edition cover featuring the symbol of House Atreides, in case you wanted to blow a lot of money on that. Warhammer 40,000 Wrath and Glory Space Marine 2 Purge the Swarm is a tie-in PDF for the similarly named video game, offering new hazards, stats, and lore for a few Space Marine heroes, some exclusive missions, and so on. Traveler Clans of the Aslan is a supplement for Traveler that details the Aslan clans, of course, and offers information on creating and running your own clans. Vac Suits and Duct Tape is a sci-fi horror RPG about a crew of space scavengers. And then finally there is Atlas Bearing the Heavens, a mothership module, with the usual stuff that goes around with it. On that note, let's take a look at crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee. Even receiving a product mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And we'll dive right into tabletop crowdfunding with side quests, one-shots, one-shots 3. It's a collection of several easy adventures for 5th edition ready to play from side quests. Goblin Raid on the Wicked Stockade, Goblin Raid on the Winter Stockade from Dark Wizard Games will be available in 5th edition as well as OSR 1st edition versions. And I've mentioned it before, I like their stuff. A Dragon of Their Own will be a fast-paced 5th edition adventure with kobolds facing off against high-level adventurers. Beyond the Horizon will be a 5th edition adventure dealing with sea and island adventuring. The Lighthouse Shadows will be another 5th edition adventure, also with a maritime theme, this time dealing with the lighthouse that has become the source of mysterious shipwrecks. The Ace of Spades will be a drop-in casino for 5th edition, part of the Monsters of Rock series. Tome of Terrors Volume 8 will be a collection of 3 dragon-themed mini and one-shot adventures, as well as associated 3D models. Divine Diversities will be a collection of 50 unique cleric subclasses for 5th edition. Wild Magic Explained looks to be a Wild Magic-themed expansion for 5th edition, including various new subclasses, effects, creatures, feats, weapons, and more. Elite Undead will be a collection of handmade dice, but also a sourcebook for 5th edition, compatible material dealing with the vampire class as well as various feats, items, and undead NPCs. Populated Hexes Monthly, issue 41, will be a continuation of the Populated Hexes Monthly zine, this time dealing with the Shadowlands and being the first of a 3-part series focused on that plane. Darkwood will be a casual pen and paper tabletop RPG made to allow for quick play and preparation and in dire need of more stuff to sell it. Finally, there is Korg, Scars of Silvis, which will be a solo adventure game complete with dungeon delving quests and more. On that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my RPG News Roundup for December 14th, 2024. As always, links will be below. I'm going to ask your patience going forward for a little while longer. I know I've been ending pretty much every RPG News Roundup with like an I'm sorry I haven't been doing stuff. I do have some reviews finally scripted and ready to go. I'm currently dealing with the same family health issues still, but they're coming to a head here. They're like nothing serious, but at the same time been worrying to me. My mother is going into the first of what will be a few procedures on her heart next week. While I understand the risks are extremely low, I have been and will be a little bit stressed over the whole situation because I've got to arrange everything I got to look out for. I'm hoping they go okay. I will attempt to continue with at least the RPG news. I will get other material up as I have time, including material for the secondary channel as soon as I can. I hope that you will forgive me for how lacking I have been in producing more RPG content other than simply the news over the last several months. As this thing has been progressing and as I've been having to focus some more time on it, family comes first. I tell that to everybody in my gaming, everybody in my, family first. So hopefully all will go with the procedures with this month, and I believe she's got some scheduled for the end of January and early February. So hopefully things go well and things can get back to normal, and I'll be able to produce more material because I've got so many ideas, but I need so much more time. Anyway, until next time, thank you for any well wishes you may send. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribe Star, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.